What if I didn't know when to leave? When to call it quits, when to give up, when to stop. Needless to say, the perfectionist in me always like table it out and be like, okay, what are the pros and what are the cons? And sometimes it's so emotional that you don't even have to go there. You're just like, I'm no longer doing this. I've had enough. But then you come to your senses and you calm down and you think, have I really had enough? Like, am I sure that there's nothing else I can do? Is this really where I'm going with this? Like, I used to tell myself, I'm going to regret every second that I stayed longer than I needed, where the lesson was already learned and I still stayed for more of the same lesson. But then you're thinking, if you need more of the same lesson, that means you haven't learned your lesson yet, so you needed to stay. But then you're thinking, if I recognize that there's a lesson, I've got it. Maybe I'm refusing to integrate it, but I do know what I have to do. And then you're thinking, maybe one last time. Or then again, you're thinking, if I'm hesitating, that means that I'm not sure. And if I'm not sure, that means it's not time. Because when it's time, you'll know. But what if you know, but you don't accept it? So what do you do then? You believe that in your gut, in the end, you will know when it's time. But sometimes you do know. Sometimes you've known for a minute, but you lie to yourself because you have hope, because you don't want to kill the dream, because you don't want to start over, or because you're thinking it's something that you did or that you can fix or that you can make better, or it's something that the other person is doing or not doing and can change. Or if you know that people don't change, can do better. But yeah. And also sometimes because quitting feels like losing, giving up, a failure. Oh yeah, and those sunk costs. Oh my God. Those are the worst. You don't want to lose. You don't want the time, emotions, talks, investments, everything you gave, put into whatever it was for it to work. Either it be a romantic relationship or a professional career or whatever it is. As long as you put in time and effort, how are you supposed to just walk away? How are you supposed to know that whatever investment you're putting in now is just a waste and it's just more losses down the line? And it's not like this is the thing that will make the difference. This is the moment where I was supposed to give up and I didn't. And is gonna be the big break. So you keep on going and you keep on going and the investment is bigger and bigger So your loss is bigger and bigger. So you fight more and more for everything not to be a loss. When do you leave? How do you know that it's time? I would say you need to call it quits, or it's time to pull the plug when you can look at yourself in the mirror and know that you've tried your best, you've given it your all, and that tomorrow when you look back, you know for a fact that you tried. You really, really did try. You really, really gave it your all and it didn't work, fine, but you have no regrets. You did it. You tried. If you can look at yourself and tell yourself that truthfully, the end. I believe that to be it. On many several things. I didn't give up when I was tired, hopeless, angry, mad, whatever, because those emotions, you take a beat and finding reasons, excuses, depending on the situation, to give it another go, give it another try. And I'm not saying as soon as it gets difficult, quit. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if it is difficult, maybe find the reason, understand why, find another way around it, try another way. But at the end of the day, when you know you've tried it and tried again and it hasn't worked, just be like, when you can have the satisfaction of knowing that you really did your best, and more importantly, when whatever this thing, situation, person, job is taking away your peace, when there's no boundaries, when you're sacrificing yourself, that's when you know, I believe in my mind, that it's time to call it. Like, let's just call it. And you know, the worst thing about it is that sometimes leaving a situation doesn't necessarily mean you're leaving it forever, but at least you're taking a step back, or you're out of it, or if ever there is, in fact, a solution or a way at it that you hadn't seen yet or tried yet, maybe that's how you'll be able to realize it. But in any case, it's not, again, all situations are not the same, but it's not necessarily giving up. You're not a loser, you're not a quitter. It's redirection, definitely redirection. And again, it's not like, okay, this got hard, it's not working out, I'm out. No, it's not that. But there's certain gut feelings, intuitions, where you know this is not it. And we lie to ourselves for many different reasons. And more importantly, there's no right way. Well, there might be a wrong way of leaving, quitting, stopping, but there's no right way to do it. So when you take that into account, that no matter how you do it, when you do it, why you do it, it won't be necessarily pretty nor perfect. That's never gonna happen. I had to learn that the hard way. At the end of the day, it really is about trusting yourself. But the tricky part is that trusting yourself doesn't mean you won't have any doubt. It means that whatever intuition, gut feeling you have inside, like deep down inside, when you know what you have to do, trust that. That's true. Even if there's doubts, because you don't want change, or you're afraid of the consequences, or you don't want to lose, or you don't want whatever it means for you to stop, quit, or leave to be reflected upon you. But deep down inside, trust yourself. You know. That's my thing. The thing is about trusting yourself is like deep down inside, you know. Even if there's doubts, even if there's a second, third, fourth voice, there's one where you know. And then there's a difference about accepting it and listening to it. But you know. You know. The worst part about it, I guess, is that when you don't leave, when you don't stop, when you don't quit, God, the universe, your destiny, whatever you want to call it, is going to make sure you get it. Whatever is triggering you is going to get louder. Whatever situation is going to get harder, because you are meant to leave, quit, or stop. So trust yourself, and if you're really having doubts, I guess continue. But you're gonna stop. At some point, like, even if you don't want to, even sometimes it's your body that shuts down. Like, your body's like, this is it. No, you want to continue? Please do. I'm out. So, yeah. To leaving, quitting, stopping, and knowing it doesn't define us, and that better is yet to come, and that hopefully along the way there's enough love, compassion, and understanding to get through whatever it is you're going through until you make that decision.